Hi there, welcome to today's video where I'm going to show you how I made my little Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer badge here. It's a pretty versatile piece of polymer clay arts. I've made it into a badge, but it would also work as a Christmas tree ornament, or perhaps a magnet, or some framed arts maybe if you wanted to make a festive piece of art. So yep, let me go and show you how I made it. So for this tutorial I'll need some red clay, some white and a tiny amount of black, some green clay and two shades of brown, a light and a dark. So I'll be using these tools for my tutorial. I've got some tiny little cookie cutter tools here, along with an actual cookie cutter, my acrylic roller or a pasta roller if you have one, my medium-sized ball tool, a scalpel, my needle tool and a blade cutting tool, but anything you have similar would work too. So to start off, I'm going to make a flower shape with my cookie cutter tool here, but you could keep it completely round actually if you wanted to. I just thought it would add a little more kind of visual interest really. And I'll just pop that out. And that's come out pretty well. And moving on to the reindeer's head, I just need to make a very sort of basic shape that's reminiscent of a reindeer's head really. And for the ears, I'm just making some ear shapes with my round mini cookie cutter tool here. And I just need to ensure that they're of a very similar size, so just take a little bit off the end there. And then they attach to the back of the head like so. And with my medium-sized ball tool, I'm going to create two eye sockets. You don't have to do this actually, you could just pop your eyes straight onto the clay, so it's entirely up to you. And moving on to his antlers. This is probably the most tricky part of the tutorial, so I've just created like a curve at the top there with my cookie cutter, and with my little leaf shaped cookie cutter I'm just making a series of shapes really to create something that's fairly reminiscent of an antler. I know it took me a few attempts to get this right, so it will probably take you a few attempts to get something that you're fairly happy with. And just take the ends off with your scalpel. And I'm just going to neaten the edges with my fingers, making sure that they're not too sharp as well actually. If you're making a badge, you always need to think of safety first. And for the other antler, I need to work in reverse here. So I've just put my original antler over the top but upside down so that you're able to get a mirror version really. And just pop your little cookie cutter tool where it has been before, like a trace really. And just pop those away with your scalpel. And again, just neaten those off and making sure that they're not too sharp. Just take any bits off that might be a bit of a worry. So then it's just all about placement really. I'm just going to pop the antlers like so and position the head in the middle. And now I'm happy where the head is, so I'm just popping in the eyes like so with some white clay. And just some tiny little pieces of black for pupils. And I'll give him some little eyebrows as well, just for, you know, a little bit of expression. And as it's Rudolph, he of course needs a red nose that's fairly large. And I'll pop on some little pink cheeks as well. So I'm going to add some holly leaves, as I think it needs a little bit of contrast really, because it's a very red piece so far. So I'm making some teeny tiny little holly leaves with my little club shaped cookie cutter tool here, just really because it's got a very round edge at the top, so it enables me to make some little cutouts for the holly leaf. And I'll just create a second one. And again, this is something that's fairly fiddly, unfortunately, so you might need to try a few attempts on this one. And I'll add some detail in with my needle tool here. And they then just pop onto his head like so. Just need to make sure that they're patted down fairly securely. And some more red clay in the form of little holly berries. And just some finishing touches, so yep, pretty happy with that. If you wanted to make your little Rudolph into a Christmas tree ornament, you just need to pop a little hole through just so that you can add some string to the piece after it's baked, so that's really easily done just with your needle tool. So now he's ready to bake, so at this point you'll need to refer to your own brands of Polymer Glaze baking instructions. So now he's baked and cooled, I'm just going to add some Sculpey glaze to a couple of elements to make them really pop. So of course his nose needs doing to make it really nice and shiny. And I'll glaze the holly leaves as well, and the berries. So now it's entirely up to you what you do with your piece, whether it's a Christmas tree ornament or you could pop it into perhaps a shadow box like so. But I'm going to make mine into a badge because why not? So I'm going to use some 2 parts epoxy glue like Araldite or such like if you're in the UK, and just pop a little blob on the back like so. And then you can secure the attachment to the back of your badge. And you'll need to rest that just for around 24 hours to enable the glue to dry. And I tend to position mine on an old wet wipe just so it dries nice and flat really. So there he is, all done. Pretty pleased with this one. And he matches up well with his new buddies in the form of my little Santa badge and my festive sheep. Thanks very much for watching. I'll be back really soon, no doubt with another Christmas themed tutorial. So yeah, I'll see you again then. Bye bye.